But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am.
AlBSure just stepped back into the spotlight, and this time he's not playing it safe. He's gearing up to take the stand in Diddy's trial, and let's just say he's got receipts and he's never switched up his story. Word is Al is one of the key witnesses ready to testify against Diddy in court. And if he repeats what he's been saying for years, Diddy's image is about to take a major hit. His whole reputation is hanging by a thread, and Al's about to start snipping, but hold on, it gets even deeper.
Yes, many years ago, I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Sure just dropped fresh tea about Kim Porter's past too. Before she ever got with Diddy, Kim and Al were a thing, and it wasn't just casual. They had Quincy together, and Kim once admitted she was the muse behind Alb's R&B hit, Forever, My Lady. But here's the real shocker. Al says they were actually married and barely anybody knew. He spilled the details during a Foxhole interview saying, "Every time I post something, I forget I'm a grandfather, so my concern is not being popular and trying to get numbers and likes. That's not what I do, but I posted something the other day talking about my ex-wife. Yeah, I said it, my ex-wife, Kimberly. But nobody knew because we didn't discuss being married. We didn't discuss that." AlBSure has never stopped honoring Kim Porter. He still posts tributes to her from time to time, but let's not get it twisted. This wasn't just about sweet memories. Even after they split, Al and Kim stayed cool with each other, and when it comes to her death, Al has never held back. He's been screaming foul play from day one.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time. And I'm, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop, So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was a lot of the stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network.
The moment Kim's alleged book made waves, Al wasted no time. He jumped on Instagram and reacted to a screenshot of Extra's headline. Diddy's late ex, Kim Porter, revealed his twisted secrets in alleged diary entries. And in the caption, Al didn't play it safe. He dropped this cryptic timeline, 2009 through 2018. Then he reminded everyone, y'all said AlBSure has lost his mind, and told him to go sit down. When he repeated verbatim what went down the day Kim passed, he tried to raise red flags, but guess what? Law enforcement ignored him. Al even claimed that Kim herself warned him in desperation to watch his back because something bad was going down. And instead of listening, people dismissed him, told him he needed help, tried to write him off as crazy. People said he lost his mind, but AlBSure keeps dropping bombs that are way too wild to ignore. Back in March 2024, he took things up a notch and hinted that Diddy might have had something to do with the mysterious coma he fell into back in 2022. And he ain't just talking. Al says he's working on a documentary that's about to shock the whole world. But let's keep it real. Al has been blowing the whistle for years. Go back to November 2021 and you'll see him making a chilling claim right before Kim's death. She was running from someone or something. He even said he told her to call the FBI. That part of his post, it vanished shortly after. He uploaded it, he went back and changed the caption, downplaying it by saying Kim was running a marathon. Why the sudden change? And Al never forgot how her death hit him. He once shared an emotional clip writing, "I just found this footage from the morning I learned of at Lady KP's aka Kim Porter's death and how it ripped the soul from my physical body."
You're going to introduce the AlBSure life story. So hold on to your britches, and you'll really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really going to need to call Homeland Security.
Shaw is done playing nice and he's naming names with his chest. He made it crystal clear. Kim Porter did not just suddenly die from pneumonia. In his own words, that's some BS. And this is exactly the kind of talk that's been getting him in hot water. Al even tagged Diddy directly in the post. Yeah, he wanted him to see it. He said they had just celebrated their son Quincy's Netflix Christmas special, and Kim was in fantastic health, laughing, glowing, and even sharing a quick moment with Diddy at the theater. So when she passed, so suddenly Al wasn't buying it, not for a second, and now he's doubling down LB. Shaw just announced he's releasing a tell-all memoir this fall called Do You Believe Me? And the title says it all because he's about to air out everything. From private moments with Kim to dark encounters involving Diddy, it's all going in there. In the memoir, Al claims Diddy and his circle might have had something to do with his mysterious multi-organ failure that landed him in a coma. Even more disturbing, he says there was a bounty put on his head, and that when he tried to speak out in the past, he faced serious push back. But Al's not running anymore. He's confirmed he's been subpoenaed in connection with Diddy's trial, and he's ready to testify. He made it clear this isn't about clout or fame. Al said he's standing 10 toes down for the truth, and no matter what it costs him, let's be real, AlBSure isn't just pulling wild claims out of nowhere. There's still a lot about Kim Porter's death that just doesn't add up. For starters, what about the blood that was allegedly found on her pillowcases? And let's not ignore the trail of blood that supposedly led from her bedroom floor straight to the bar.
It's been quite a journey. And as I said, you know, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through many, almost, you know, more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking, really? What's wrong with you? No way, you know, just, but not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
Here's the chilling part. Contrary to what the public was told, Kim wasn't even found in her bed. According to reports, she was discovered on the bathroom floor. So if anyone claims she passed away peacefully in bed, that might have been a cover-up. If she was found in bed later, someone likely moved her body. And that's a huge red flag, and it gets even more disturbing. The original coroner who did the first autopsy, reportedly suspected foul play after noticing the amount of a certain toxin in Kim's system. So why wasn't that ever looked into deeper? Then there's Kim's final phone call, which was reportedly to 911 at exactly 2:43 a.m., but somehow she wasn't found until 11:02 a.m. the next morning. That's almost 9 hours later. What happened during that time? Oh, and Kim's family, yeah, they've reportedly been seeking legal advice and considering slapping Diddy with a wrongful death lawsuit. So when AlBSure keeps saying he's suspicious about what really happened to Kim Porter, he's not just guessing. He knows exactly what he's talking about. And the more you look into it, the more disturbing the pattern gets. It's no secret that almost everyone who was close to Diddy and worked with him during Kim's time is now gone, except Al. That alone should raise some eyebrows. Kim had been in the game for a long time. She started at Uptown Records as Andre Harrell's personal assistant and was one of the longest-standing employees in the circle. Now, she's gone, and she's not the only one. Heavy Deep, dead. Andre, Harrell dead. Kim Porter, dead. The only ones left standing, Diddy and AlBSure, and let's not forget, almost didn't make it, either after slipping into a coma with mysterious multi-organ failure. Now, here's where it gets even creepier. Heavy D was found face down. They ruled it a heart attack. Andre Harrell, also a heart attack. Kim, they said it was pneumonia. Really, that many people from the same tight circle all dying under strange conditions. Now, here's where things start looking real spooky.
Specifically then, that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure.
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
Why is it that every major figure tied to Diddy and Kim Porter had something in the works before they mysteriously passed? Andre Harrell, he was writing a book before he died. Heavy D, also writing a book before he died. AlBSure, he was working on a documentary about his life before he slipped into a coma. And Kim Porter, she was reportedly writing a book too, one that was never supposed to see the light of day. And let's talk about that book. While one version may have surfaced online, many believe it was not the real one. Word on the street is that Kim's actual book had explosive details like how she secretly protected AlBSure from walking into situations where Diddy could have harmed him. Kim knew Diddy's dark side, and she warned Al to avoid certain spots because she knew what he was capable of, but that's just the beginning. Kim allegedly planned to reveal how Diddy had roughed her up multiple times, how he manipulated and isolated her, and how deep the control went. According to claims, she even said she was forced to use a strap-on to please Diddy and would then break down hysterically, crying afterward. That's how broken she felt. The book reportedly also exposed how her house was wired, her phone lines tapped, and how Diddy had people on payroll to spy on her constantly. Kim was even planning to talk about how Diddy was trying to snatch full custody of the twins. Kim wasn't just sitting on secrets. She was ready to spill it all if Diddy ever tried to take her kids away from her. Allegedly, word is she made it very clear that if he crossed that line, she'd expose everything. And what she had could have taken down empires, one of the wildest. Alleged claims Kim's book was supposed to detail how the East and West Coast beef might have been staged, all to get rid of Tupac and Biggie and gain control of their music masters. Apparently, Pac and Biggie were planning to team up and go after Bad Boy and Death Row to fight for ownership of their work. That plan allegedly made them targets, but that wasn't all Kim was reportedly ready to reveal. The book also hinted at Diddy's secret relationships with other men, including claims that he allegedly took advantage of people like Usher. Yeah, we said allegedly, but the whispers were loud.
I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital.
Now here's the twist. Even though the book that eventually surfaced online wasn't verified as the real one, it still had some shocking claims, including dirt on AlBSure himself. One excerpt said, Kim once walked in on Diddy and Al doing something so disturbing she was left shook to her core. In her alleged words, the moment took her soul so far up and back that she had to leave the house entirely and go across the street just to eat at China. What the hell did she see? I remember the moment like it just happened. Al looked at me and said, "It's still weird seeing you with my friend Mo, but you're happy, so I'm happy for you guys." Diddy responded, cool and casual. "Thanks, man. Me and you, we've shared so much." Al just nodded and replied, "Coolie word." But then the whole vibe in the room shifted. That's when Diddy dropped a line that made the air go cold. We all been together, sexually, but not together. Everything froze. I stared at him, stunned, trying to even process what that meant. "Wait, what do you mean by all together?" I asked, heart-pounding. Al looked uncomfortable, avoiding eye contact, but Diddy didn't hold back. "You know how we sometimes invite others into our bed?" he said like it was nothing. I couldn't believe it. I turned to Al. "This is Quincy's father. Say something." But what came out of his mouth stunned me even more. "I don't know, it could be kind. Hot, I miss you like that." Now my mind was spinning. This wasn't what I expected at all. Part of me was shocked, but another part still cared, still had feelings, and as wrong as it felt, the curiosity was real. I started questioning everything. You both sure?" I asked, hesitating. Thoughts rushed through my head. How it would affect Quincy if things went left, how complicated this could get. But what happened next changed everything. I never could have imagined how deep this would go, and honestly, it's still hard to wrap my head around it all. Now, for the record, AlBSure strongly denied the wild claims made in that alleged book, and he's even said he plans to sue. But forget the noise for a second. Let's zoom in on what really matters. What Al has been saying about Kim Porter this whole time. Still, not everyone's sold on Al's version of things. A lot of folks feel like he's got a selfish streak. I mean, think back right after Quincy made a heartfelt statement saying that all the conspiracy talk around Kim's death was causing emotional pain to him, and his siblings. Al was still out here posting strange cryptic stuff all over social media. Then, when the memoir drama popped off, Al's caption was more focused on his own name being mentioned than the actual disturbing content inside. That rubbed people the wrong way. It felt like he cared more about his ego than justice for Kim. And let's not forget, Al was also openly questioning why Quincy would still follow the man accused of hurting his mother. Now, some people saw that as bold, others thought it was just messy. So, yeah, trust is split, but me, I'm locked in. I want to know what Al's going to say on that stand. Will he finally reveal more about what really happened to him? And will we get deeper truth about Kim's final days? Either way, It's about to get wild. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the latest tea.